You're welcome.
Today at City Council, Pedro Martinez said that he worries that if there was a short-term loan, he believes that loan would actually give the state an excuse not to provide more money for CPS. Can you react to that?
Well, look, first of all, my vision for public education is the vision that the people of Chicago want. And that's a fully funded education system that supports every single child across the city. As a parent, and of course as a former public school teacher, I know exactly what parents are experiencing right now. And that's a school district that, quite frankly, that when we talk about supporting every single child, that's not just simply class sizes that are manageable. That's not just simply having social workers and counselors. That's not just simply about libraries and librarians. That's not just simply about the workforce, but it's also about psychiatrists and psychologists as well. The level of trauma that exists in this city that has gone unaddressed for decades, that's something I'm not going to stand for. And so whatever it takes to ensure that there aren't cuts to our schools that have caused tremendous chaos over the course of disinvestment, that's not why the people of Chicago elected me, is to take us back to a time of disinvestment. This is really about investing in our children and transforming our district so that every single family across the city can have a school that they deserve.
So does his argument make sense at all to you that if you get the short-term loan that the state might not help?
Well, look, everybody knows that the state of Illinois, through leadership that I have provided over the course of, almost 2 decades of pushing for transformation in our education system, that the state has done more to invest in our public school system across the state of Illinois. But we are not done yet. And it's not just about District 299. This is about districts across the state of Illinois where we know that federal dollars are running out, right? And so I don't believe that anyone in the state of Illinois wants to shortchange children across the state.
Your London trip, can we get a post-mortem on that? How did it go? Obviously there was some criticism. We saw as well the Jacksonville mayor was there. But did you have to go personally to get the 3 jobs from that digital company? Is there something we're missing on that?
Well, look, the city of Chicago is a world-class city. We're a global city. And my responsibility is to attract as well as fortify businesses that ultimately are prepared to invest in Chicago. Since I've been mayor, $20 billion of new investments on the west and south sides. PsiQuantum, right? A brand new infrastructure that's going to change industry, particularly how we actually solve problems. And so, the investments that continue to happen under my leadership to ensure that people on the west and south sides have opportunities for jobs, it's always worthwhile when it comes to bringing new investments in the city of Chicago. And just keep in mind, I'm not the first mayor to actually attract businesses from across the globe to the city of Chicago. And this is more about just one particular business. This is about scores of businesses that recognize that the city of Chicago is the place to do business.
And why did the DCASE manager, the commissioner, I'm sorry, not manager, but why did she go as well and what was gained from that?
Yeah, well, look, as you see right here in the airport, art and culture is a major part of the fabric of our city. But art and culture is also the driving force of economies across the globe. When you think about international cities, you think about art and culture, you think about the architect that exists in the city of Chicago. That's the beauty of the city of Chicago. There's not one industry that has more than 13% of our overall GDP. We have the most diverse economy, we have the most culturally relevant economy, and so the unique thing about my administration, I'm not stuck in one particular industry or one particular form of business. This is about bringing arts, culture, entertainment. The Condé Nast has rated the city of Chicago the best big city in America for 11 years in a row, right? We're also the top corporate relocator for businesses across this country. There's a reason why we're the greatest freaking city in the world, is because we actually have leadership that recognizes that in order to have a better, stronger, safer Chicago, we have to have a diverse economy.
And that better, safer, stronger, what about migrants? The closing of some shelters. Are there any concerns as we head into these colder winter months that families could end up homeless?
Well, first of all, we're building a single shelter system for all. This is the first time in the history of Chicago where you've had an administration like myself committed to fighting the homelessness crisis. Now look, there's a lot of work that we have to do. That's why in my first budget, I committed to $250 million to fight homelessness. We also have a $1.25 billion investment to build affordable homes, to create economic development for our communities. Look, the poor management from previous administrations that refuse to address these crises, not under my watch. I'm going to do everything in my power to build out a system that works for everyone. And the last thing, here's the most important note. is that families have longed for an administration that recognizes them and sees them. 20,000 homeless students in our public schools right now, and we have not received any federal help, not in a significant way, to deal with the homelessness crisis in Chicago. This is not a problem that's unique to the city of Chicago. It's a problem that we've experienced around the globe. But the difference between us and other places in the world is that we're actually addressing it. So thank you all very much.